I don't have side quests anymore. This is a brand new fucking game. This is a new game. I'm not looking for the cheat codes. I'm not looking for anything else. I'm not even looking for the walkthroughs. There's no walkthroughs in this shit. This is interesting to me. It's like kind of like taking care of the case, putting it back, and making sure that's like, oh man, I can't wait. You're dusting off your controller, you're getting all your snacks, you're getting all your drinks, you're getting ready for everything, and you're putting it there, and everything's gonna be fucking awesome because your preparation is gonna be awesome when it goes into it. You're gonna put in the work, and you're gonna get exactly what you got on fight night.
He is a legend of the sport, and now he is making his crossover into the boxing world. August 30th, taking on Salt Papi at Misfits 30. It is always my great pleasure to talk to Tony Ferguson. Tony, how are you?
Excellent, my guy. Just sitting here at the headquarters here in Costa Mesa, ready to fucking rock and roll. Couple weeks, man. Can't wait to go out there in Manchester. How you feeling?
I'm fantastic, man. Always great to catch up with you. And let me be honest, man. Like I didn't see boxing. You know, you had the MMA fight booked. You were going to GFL, and then out of nowhere, I get this announcement you're going to boxing. So how did this whole thing happen?
So when it first came into it, I've always wanted to box. I wasn't allowed to box. I wasn't allowed to fight. Growing up, my dad was like, "You're going to be playing sports. You're going to go to college. You're going to get your education. You can figure out what you want to do. But I'm not going to pay for your education. You're going to have to be good enough to get your scholarships." We chose wrestling instead of baseball or football, and we ended up going with that. Won nationals, and we did all these different things. Ended up in MMA. Always wanted to box. But before that, I signed up for the paratroopers. Nobody knows about that. I signed up for the paratroopers in Cal State Bakersfield for wrestling. When it came down to it, I ended up in MMA on accident. And it was kind of crazy how that ended up working out. I ended up becoming a world champion, but I always kept it in my mind. I always wanted to box. When I saw Connor and Nate go box, I wanted to box, but nobody was like allowing me to go box. It was like, okay, your brand is with the UFC. You're an MMA fighter right now. So I was lucky enough to be able to co-brand with my brand with the UFC brand, build my name up to a certain degree, and then be able to use that for my future. Now, thus, I'm a legend. I'm a fucking myth, or the whatever you want to call it, the man, whatever. Now is that time. I get to put on shoes. In MMA, you don't get to wear shoes. I've always wore shoes in football and baseball, and then I wore wrestling shoes, and then I wore dress shoes when I was all fucking snazzy. This is an opportunity for me to be able to go out there, demonstrate what the fuck I know, because I have put more time in a boxing ring than I have in an octagon. Anytime I've ever prepared for a fight in the octagon, I was always in a boxing ring. It wasn't in the cage. The most time that I found myself in a cage was during fight night. That's how weird that shit was, right? Now I get to put on shoes. I don't have to worry about getting taken down. I don't have to worry about fucking people trying to choke me out or do all this other shit. The interest is there. Pandemic came around. It was hard to go to all these different types of camps because before then, everybody was coming to me. After the pandemic, everybody had to go and look after the fucking home, which was awesome. But it was harder to go. And because I want to be a father, I want to coach, and I want to do all these different things. So it was like the interest wasn't there. It was like, okay, now I'm fighting these guys that are like a bunch of puds that were like, they weren't around for the longest fucking time on my terror, right? Because they didn't want to fucking get bloody or have me wear their blood, and I was smiling and shit like that. Well, now there was opportunities because I was like trying to get Khabib. I said to my wife, I was like, look, we're going to take these fights. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some film on there so that way Khabib takes the bait. He's going to want to take the bait. And that was when Connor and were McNuggets and Chandler ended up coaching against each other. It was because I put that feeler out there for me and Khabib to go and coach on The Ultimate Fighter. We had signed agreements with the UFC. We had signed with Ali and everybody else, which we were going to. That was the time where he didn't go and corner his cousin. So he had a lot of extra shit that was going on. Other than that, the interest has never been there. When I'm fighting these guys, it was kind of like just to do it for the fan bases and to be like, you know what, yeah, I'm taking these opportunities. I'm not going to let them ice the kicker. I'm going to take these opportunities. I didn't get called from the UFC. We both handshook and we both walked away. I took that game, kept it clean, put it back in there because I see all those games and those things back there. You're the same way. You're a gamer. When it goes into it, you collect all these side quests like Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or you go back in there, you're playing Breath of the Wild. You go and you beat the game and you go back and you collect everything. You go and then you just fuck it. So like that goes all the way to 100%. I'm at like maybe like 98% when it comes into the UFC collecting coins and shit. This is a new time for me to be able to go out there and demonstrate what I know, which is experience in athletics. To be able to put on shoes, don't worry about anything else besides throwing fucking hands and making sure that I show up on fight night.
I love it. I love it. Tony, can I ask, I saw you mention like after like when this fight got signed, you had reacted to some of the people out there said, oh, Tony's past his prime. He's washed up. And I know you said, I mean, absolutely no disrespect to the guys you fought in your last couple of UFC fights, but you kind of mentioned like you were just not feeling it. I guess the best way to say it, like towards the end, like in terms of the opponents, you'd been there, done that. As you said, you collected all the coins. Would you say this has kind of motivated you more, like to have something different, have something new to fight for with a boxing match?
So over the years, when it comes into when I signed, I mean, you're talking about like going from Spike TV, Fuel TV, you're talking about Fox, ESPN, Disney, ESPN Plus, like, and now it's what's Paramount. I mean, I have seen all these changes go through. I was the guy that fucking was the first one to wear suits in the Ultimate Fighter, like wearing shirt and tie. Like, and you go back into it, you can see nobody was wearing this shit. I inspired fucking GSP to wear suits and stuff like that. Now everybody's wearing sunglasses inside. I never found myself being outside of what I know and what I am. This is another opportunity for me to be able to go out there. I don't have to be buddy buddy. Like over the years, I grew with the UFC like family. Like I'm still family to them. Like that's family. Like I love everybody behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. I don't know too many of the new fighters. I just don't watch the sports. I just don't watch sports. I just never have. Even growing up, I was always too busy playing them and winning this shit, collecting coins and shit, like the medals, the trophies and stuff. I grew up with my parents having all these fucking trophies, like the big ass fucking trophy collection. Like you see your back, that's my parents. My parents had all that fucking shit with fucking medals and trophies. You're talking about multiple sports, and I got to watch them play it to the fucking bone. I grew up with that, thinking that that was the normal. No, now I'm in a new spot where it's like I'm still thinking that's the normal, but I'm realizing that I'm a one of a kind fucking person, that I don't have to be like anybody else. This is another opportunity for me to be able to demonstrate what I know, which I know boxing. People might not think that I do. And I'm listening to these haters, I'm listening to the people that like me, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. And I was just telling you, I found myself always in a boxing ring. I never really found myself in an octagon. The only time I ever found myself in a cage was during fight night. I was lucky enough. I mean, if I really wanted it that bad, the last fucking 4 to 5 years, I would have traveled more like I am right now. Now then I go over to like the Misfits when I was doing my face off over in England. You still there?
Yep, sir.
So yeah, so when I was over there, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. Everybody has a different accent. I'm over there not hugging people that I know from the UFC. I'm handshaking and I'm not being as personal with everybody. It's business. And I got this dude that says he's gonna knock me out on a different camera, but when I'm meeting him, he's like a chicken shit. He doesn't want to say the kind of same shit. It's a different kind of entity when it comes into it. And it fucking, yeah, you're right. It lit a new fire underneath me that I absolutely fucking needed. And you're talking about with Goggins. Goggins was that first one that actually lit that fire again. And it takes time. You have a plant that's not doing so well over here. I'm going to move it over in this spot. I'm going to give it what it needs. And it's not going to happen overnight. It'll take some time, but when it does, you're going to before you know it, you're not going to pay attention to it. And then it's ready to fucking go and sprout fruit. Right now, it's about that fucking time. I'm ready to go. And it's fucking good. We got about 2 weeks and probably like 3, 4 days when it goes into it. So you got about like 17 days, maybe 16, 17 days, almost a fight night. Like that's exciting to me. Beforehand, wasn't as exciting. It was like, what the fuck, dude? Now this is a new opportunity for me to be able to go out there and shine. And I get more excited. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I don't have side quests anymore. This is a brand new fucking game. This is a new game. I'm not looking for the cheat codes. I'm not looking for anything else. I'm not even looking for the walkthroughs. There's no walkthroughs in this shit. This is interesting to me. It's like kind of like taking care of the case, putting it back, and making sure that's like, oh man, I can't wait. You're dusting off your controller. You're getting all your snacks. You're getting all your drinks. You're getting ready for everything. And you're putting it there, and everything's gonna be fucking awesome because your preparation is gonna be awesome when it goes into it. You're gonna put in the work, and you're gonna get exactly what you got on fight night.
Now I know, and I know right now, Tony, your 110% focus is going out and knocking out Salt Papi and winning your boxing debut in Misfits on August 30th. But can I ask? Because it's funny, like when I started thinking about things you could do, I was like, well, they got this new Real American Freestyle. I could see Tony wrestling. I got Abu Dhabi got grappling. I see Tony doing grappling. But when it comes to like, would you say there is still a world where you would do MMA again? Like, because I know you had that Dillon
Yeah.
Danis fight. I know Dillon's fighting on Misfits. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, is that still an interest to you?
So I talked to Dillon, and when it goes into business, like I'm not saying I looked after him, he looked after me, but when it goes into it, we were trying to make this stuff happen with GFL. When it comes in with Darren, and I still keep in contact with Darren, like putting in the blueprint for it. It's like, okay, yeah, we can have the vision, but you're going to have that athlete's perspective on it and be able to put it together. It's like, okay, and then doing the numbers. For me, when it goes into it, I've learned from some of the best when it goes into the UFC. I've seen him cross over from all these different types of productions. I've been behind the scenes, fortunate enough to learn it, see the numbers and see the things. Went to Harvard, saw how everything was processing from NFL and watching how the UFC, WWE, IMG trying to cross it over. Now it's America's sport. They're trying to make the numbers to be able to be one of the leading sports in the world. And when you go into that, you have to know the demographics. I know the demographics, but I'm not here trying to do that kind of shit no more. When it goes into MMA, the chances presents itself and it does interest me because I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it. We walked away handshake, and if that presents itself and it makes sense, yeah, we're gonna do it. But right now, the focus is boxing. After that, if I want to grapple, yeah, Arman Sarukian. When we were over and I was doing the real fights, right? I was over there in Thailand, and I don't know if you guys got to see this. People were trying to take me down. One person tried to take me down and wasn't on film. I went to go get a Coca-Cola off of the mat, right? And this guy tried to take me down. I accidentally snapped his arm. He got an underhook and I snapped his arm, plowed him in, and I threw him in an Uchimata, landed on him, and I walked away, went and I hosted his match. And it was fast. And I did it really quick. My father-in-law was telling me, wow, like I'm telling you, like when I signed up, when I moved out here, I signed up for the paratroopers and I signed up for military. I signed up for something different. Like I just had the mentality. There's something special about me when it goes into it. And when something happens like that, I grew up having to watch my back like that. And it sucks. But MMA was one of those ways for me to be able to demonstrate and to be able to hone all my, we'll call it talents into one thing. This is another opportunity for me to be able to express myself. The chances present itself. When I was out there, I told Arman was like, hey, let's grapple. And I was like, you don't want to grapple me. He's like, why? Because I'll take your ranking.
I love that attitude. I love it. I love it. I love it. But and the thing about Misfits, though, the cool thing here is like boxing is your focus, but now that they are doing MMA, like there is an option, right? Like there is that option there if you ever want to do it.
Well, when it went into MMA, I gave him the idea because we were doing some cross alignment and making sure that shit happened. And I presented some opportunities like, dude, when it comes into it, it's like, look, you're either it's an idea is an idea. It's not, it doesn't matter whose fucking idea it is, but when it goes into it, right? Remember how like casuals and hardcore came to be? Do you know how that came to be?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
those words?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's from old me. Yeah, right, 100%, right? But we don't have to go back on it. But now that's the normal. Remember how like when I first started, like when I started doing all the goofy shit, I put out some goofy stuff out there and everybody hated on it, but that was the real shit that I was training for. Now it was a meme, but it became the standard normal now what people fucking do. When it comes into it, I've always been a trendsetter. I never planned on it being like that, but I don't want to copy anybody. I don't want to sample shit. If the chance presents itself for me to be able to express myself, then yes, I will do it. With MMA, yeah, the chances are there. Yeah, I find myself now traveling more with the training because the interest is there. I find myself happier now because I'm not having to worry about splitting my time up going to all these different classes. I get to put on shoes again. Like I said, I'm enjoying my diet because my weight is low. My dad, when we were preparing for the GFL, we were going to have to fight, what, 5, 6 times that year to win the whole thing? If I was going to prepare like that, it was going to be like wrestling in college. You're going to have to keep your weight low enough so that way in MMA, I was cutting, Darren, I'll tell you, I was cutting from 200, 205, 210. My big guy clothes weren't even fitting me anymore. When those big guy clothes weren't fitting me anymore, I knew I had to get my shit in gear and I had to go out and run a little bit. This has been different. Yeah, it's funny. This is different now. My weight has been around no more than 180 pounds. I've been about 175 after practice. Beforehand, I'm around like 170, no problem. I'm getting to eat anything I fucking want, but I'm eating good stuff. I'm getting more and more cut. I'm seeing more ripples in my stomach. I'm getting more hungry. I'm letting my facial hair grow like more and more. And I'm like kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't shave. Maybe I should. And sometimes I don't give a fuck because the concentration isn't there. I don't give a shit. I'm here for one reason is to fuck shit up come August 30th, man. Misfits 22. Veruca Salt's going to have his hands fucking full with El Kakuli. Hate to talk to myself in a third person. It sounds fucked up. But yeah, damn it. Yeah, for sure.
No, it's funny because when I know you saw the reaction when GFL announced you and Dillon Danis. There was so much excitement, like what a fight. And I think there was a similar reaction of like you doing this in boxing. Now, I got to be honest, Tony, like I've seen Salt Papi fight. He's got knockout power. He's got legit, but he's knocking out guys who are not Tony Ferguson. I'm just being honest with you. Like in a way, athletically and experience-wise, like this is a bit of a mismatch. But obviously, you're going into boxing for the first time, so I'm sure you have.
How is it a mismatch? Right? How is it a mismatch? The guy's 6-2 professional. Now this goes into it. No. So wait, hold on, brother. I'm talking. When it goes into it, look at you guys are disregarding his professionalism. That's the same thing. You guys always disregarded me in my boxing or disregarded everything else like that when I didn't give a fuck. You got two people that got the balls to be able to show up to practice, to be able to go out there, put that fucking on the line. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. If Tony Ferguson in the prime, no, I don't give a fuck. The interest is there right now. And it doesn't matter who the fuck is going to step in front of me. You could put anybody in front of me come that night. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to give the best version of myself that I possibly can because I'm uncomfortable in practice right now. The last 4 to 5 years, I've been comfortable in practice and I've been miserable in the fight because I just don't want to fucking do it. I'm uncomfortable in practice right now, getting my rounds and doing the fuck and making myself feel that way. So that way, when I get inside that ring, I'm gonna be uncomfortable. I'm gonna be comfortable as fuck. I'm not gonna have to worry about too much shit or what the fuck else is going on because I'm gonna be so damn focused on what the fuck I had listened to my coaches in practice, doing what I have to do. And I feel like how I was when I was preparing back and for when I first started in the UFC, like in the Ultimate Fighter. It's like it's fresh. It's interesting to me. I'm excited. I don't know anybody. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, but I know there's a bonus at the end of this fucking road. And they told me they're like, you're gonna get a knockout bonus in the fight of the night if that's what they were offering. If you guys are good enough to do this, I'm like, you're kidding. I'm like, let's fucking get paid because you know what? This is interesting to me because you know I'm fucking hungry. I'm so damn hungry. I'm not even eating this shit right now. My healthy penguin. Thank you guys.
I love it. But this opens up opportunities. Like you said, like you go out, I'm not certainly not looking past Salt Papi. You go out and win this fight on the 30th. Like you got all kinds of opportunities, right? Like there's all kinds of things you could be doing next, whether it's boxing or MMA or whatever you're going to do. But boxing is interesting because, as you said, it is something new. It is something fresh. It is something to kind of give you something new to
It's
work
something
on, right?
I always wanted to do. Wasn't allowed to do it. I wasn't allowed to box. My dad knew what boxing was going to do. It wasn't going to get me for my future. He knew that my sports, wrestling, football, baseball, soccer, basketball, one of those sports that I grew up playing was going to bring me to my future, which was school. I was a smart kid. I'm still a fucking smart kid, taking all these opportunities, whether it's Harvard or fucking Misfits or it was the UFC or whatever the fuck it's going to be. If it interests me, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do it. I'm that kind of guy that has that kind of talent to be able to pick it up because that's the way my parents raised me. If I'm gonna pick up and I'm gonna do something, you better do it to the fucking best that you could. And that was the same way when I had my first amateur fight. I had my first amateur fight back in the day. I'll end with this. My first amateur fight lasted about like 22 seconds. I crushed the dude's face. I broke his zygomatic bone of his temporal process on his face. I was working at Coffee Bean, strong as fuck, and I've always thrown hands. I've always thrown hands. Before I started learning everything else, that was the only thing I fucking would do. Now I get to put shoes on. I get to do this type of shit. It interests me. I remember when I fucking when they asked me to go against this dude for my professional license. They brought in the California State Athletic Commission and they brought in this 260-pound dude that had tattoos all over the place, teardrops and shit like that. And we had to go spar with MMA gloves. Not spar, we had to fight. And they were said, you're gonna do 3 5-minute rounds with this guy. And I looked and I was like, he's kind of a big. They're like, well, if you want your pro license, you're gonna have to fight. And I said, okay. I quickly shot a low single knee on belly in less than 3 seconds, like a fast fucking pin. I had my knee on his back and I had my hand. I was like, you sure you don't want to go big gloves? And it was the same thing when I went over there when I was when I was with the Russians over there. Anytime somebody would have shoot on me, if you guys saw the reels, saw the Instagram post when somebody was like that, I was super fucking serious, but yet I was quick enough afterwards to take pictures and be very professional with it to be able to be a nice guy. I'm not an asshole, but I'm a very fucking dangerous man when it comes down to it. And I've been preparing the same fucking way. I got one of my fighters, Tommy Aaron, who's helping me out. He's fucking an animal. He's got a couple big things coming up too. And I got my team with Rashad Holloway and I got Joseph Janik Haas from Knuckleheads Boxing. I got my wife, Christina Ferguson, my 2 kids, Armand Anthony and Angel Anthony Ferguson. Like I've got my center focused on what the fuck I want to do and how I want to do it and what I want to do with it. And nobody's going to fucking stop me, Darren.
I'll say this last thing. I'll get you out of here on this. It's funny. We go back many years ago. And I remember talking to you. I can't remember what fight it was around, but you were telling me about how you used to like, you would basically have a notebook of notes. You would get down like really when you were meticulously breaking down the opponent, breaking down what you're going to do in a fight. After this is over and you go out and win it and you win your boxing debut, you got to tell me what the notes were in the book. You don't have to tell me now. I don't want you to give me any secrets, but I want to know what the notes were from the boxing notebook because I love hearing your mind on this. And I'm just very curious because this is something new and you sound super excited. So I can't wait to see the Tony Ferguson breakdown after your boxing debut.
Well, I'll tell you, I've always grew up watching film because my dad would always have me watch my losses. I would win. Very once in a while, long time, I would have one loss, and he would make me watch it over and over and over and over. And I hated it. I fucking hated it. But I watched it, and it was humbling enough to be able. I grew up super humble with this shit, man. That's why I'm the same fucking guy that I am. Doesn't matter how fucking popular I get. Doesn't matter how many fucking pictures of things I sign. I will still be that same dude that will go back and watch film particularly when I was even with Pettis, when I went out there. I remember how like even an open workout, something I picked up, and I ended up ankle picking him the same way that he got hit with in the fucking open workout. I'm that guy that when we were playing like in football, we were watching film the whole entire time. They call us the four horsemen in the back because they couldn't get past us. We were the last line of defense. I was always the last line of fucking defense. This is my fucking mat come October, August 20th or August 30th for the Misfits 22. And I feel that fucking fire. I'm pumped about it. I'm excited about it. Watching film has just been fucking amazing. I'm watching this dude. He can watch me in slow motion. He's lucky I can't fucking head kick him. He's lucky I can't fucking throw him a choke to his ass out. And he's gonna have to walk in there with that fear of me fucking wearing his blood, smiling all the fucking time. I can't wait because these 10-ounce gloves, they feel like fucking pillows. They ain't 16s. They're not fours. If you put up some MMA gloves, they almost have the same amount of padding as these 10-ounce gloves. And that's the best part because that 10-ounce gloves are spread everywhere. And I'm wearing some Grants, baby, and I can't wear it. My hands are bigger than Brock's. The Brock Lesnar's coach. He's got some meat hooks, but my hands are bigger than his by like maybe a millimeter. And I'm telling you, once I get a hold of this kid, he's gonna feel that wrath and not wrath. He's gonna feel that power. And I always say a prayer beforehand that we both entered there very healthy and we always walk away healthy. So best of luck on your training camp. So I'll see you soon.
I love it. I love it. Well, Tony, you've always been that same dude. I'll never forget one of your fights. I can't remember where it was at, but I remember there was a big crowd of media. Everyone's grounded around to ask Tony Ferguson questions. And I'll never forget you singled me out and came over and gave me a hug and a handshake because you saw me there. And I was like, I always appreciate that. You never forget where you come from. So I appreciate you doing this as always, man. Have a great rest of your training camp. Can't wait for August 30th. And thank you as always for the time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.